Hi, and welcome to Astros Tailgate, the Astros Corner, in which we talk about all Astros all the time, from a fan point of view, from other fan perspectives. Today, we will be talking about Mike Fiers' no-hitter, the highs and lows of the Astros rebuilding era, and lastly, what if the Astros won the 2015 ODS over the Kansas City Royals? So, let's get started. Like I said, I'm Astros Tailgate on Instagram. How's everyone doing? And I'm hoping everyone is doing good. So let's talk about the Astros high and lows of the rebuild era. So far, in the highs and lows of the Astros rebuilding era, we grew up with players like Roy Oswalt, Hunter Pence, and Michael Bourne. And there's so many more to mention we all grew up and liked. But having those type of players during that time kind of tell us the moments of what we could do as a team. But those players we wanted to use, like Michael Bourne, to keep around, to use him as a stolen base threat. Unfortunately, we had to trade him to Atlanta for Paul Clemens and some more. And Hunter Pence, we traded him for some players we never know before. Now we see Roy Oswalt was also traded to the Phillies, but we didn't got no point asset out of them. It left us, the fans, disappointed because of our rebuilding. Due to respect of our former GM Ed Wade, never made a good trade except for getting one player, and that was George Springer of the draft. That was his only player he already found was successful for us. But he doesn't know what to do. And while losing those type of players, fans stop attending to the games because they don't know any of those players, like Tyler Crow, Matt Dominguez, and some more. Like, who knows these players now? Some of these players never played baseball again. But we always found a way to bounce back as a Nationals fan. The reason being, remember Hurricane Harvey? Well, we bounced back from that. The highs of during that era, it was 2014 actually. We started off with current Cardinal outfielder Dexter Fowler from the Colorado Rockies. I remember that trade was yesterday, and I said, maybe the GM Jeff Luna was doing something to the team. We got a pitcher from free agency, Scott Feldman and Jack Walls. Both of them were key assets for us, but they weren't that good until we did this. In 2015, we improved by getting some players like Colby Rasmus, the late Luis Valvena, and Dallas Keuchel. Those players, like Keuchel and Correa, and with those gel of the aggregation during that all-season, kind of blended into us. In that record alone, in that year, we went to 86 and 76, our best records since the 2008 season. Let's go to today's Astros. The team is unbelievably amazing. If we have injury or an injury team. Throughout the years, the farm was built up for this, and indeed it filled our expectations. Well, we acquired some players who we know, like Mike Elias, the former GM, the former player of development for the Baltimore Orioles. He helped us to get those players like Carlos Correa, Lance McCullers, so many more to name, and it's hard to say. And I have to thank him for doing this for us, us Astros fans, knowing what to do with those certain type of players for the Astros. He made them look like an Astros from day one when they started playing. That's something you can say it's bad about him. So, when we do this, we learn from it, we praise him, and we lose some. Now, let's talk about the 2015 no-hitter by Mike Fiers. I'm going to say this player name. We all know what he's capable of when he's playing with the Astros. And this is Carlos Gomez and Mike Fiers. During that trade, we did this. We acquired the name Mike Fiers, who was a decent starter that year, but he never played in the American League until he joined with us. This moment still solidified the Astros organization to this day because we had a no-hitter by him. I remember coming home on my cruise ship. I came back within that week. I said, let's get ready for this series against the Dodgers. It's going to be our ultimate test to see if we're ready for the postseason. Well, the first game was notable. It was a no-hitter by him, Mike Fiers. So, when we talk about Mike Fiers, he was one of the key pitchers in that year, but he never fulfilled his potential until that year we got some assets to help him. But Mike Fiers still is a good pitcher today's game. But guess what? He's not really good these days, unfortunately. I want to say this. In that no-hitter, and this year no-hitter against the Reds, he didn't do that great of a job. Don't get me wrong, he's still good, but he's not top 10. So, when we see that moment of Mike Fiers in 2015, we learn from it. We see what we are capable of, and we learn how we play as a team. All those teams, all that era, all that players who was on that field had a huge impact in 2015 for us, no matter what. And so, let's get started with the questions. Unfortunately, I don't see any right now. People always ask this question to me, since I'm an Astros fan. Why did the Astros move to the American League? The reason we moved to the American League, some Astros doesn't know the reason, or some doesn't. The reason we moved to the American League is because of the move down the revenue for $70 million down from Minute Maid Park. Had a geography rivalry with the Rangers. Each division had 5 teams. With this move, the Astros been 533 and 497, which includes their first year of playing in the American League. In this era, the Astros shown a team improvement every 1 or 2 years. 1 year was 2015. We slumped in 2016. In 2017, we went nothing but up. In 2018, we kind of went back to earth. The Astros shows a team like the Yankees what could happen if you stuck by patience with your farm system. We stuck by them so many players who came with us from the farm. That's pretty amazing, you ask me. And lately, Astros have a lot of farm depth in the lineup from last night. With Derek Fisher, Tony Kemp, and Jack Mayfield, who was helping us to win the game. That's pretty unbelievable, if you ask me. If you have a team like that to play in the Major League, that's something, While the Astros still remains a most consistent rebuild team in baseball, we still know what they're capable of, how we play. Our team is full of sentimentals. We have a good bullpen. Yes, we may choke once in a while, but we still have a good bullpen. The starting rotation is also good. The only problem is having a franchise catcher after having years of different catchers. In 2013 with Jason Castro, 2014 again with Jason Castro, in 2015 with Jason Castro and Evan Gattis. But Evan Gattis didn't start as a catcher at first. He started playing in outfield. But AJ Hinch, learned how to control Gattis and make him an everyday catcher for us. It helped us to make us reliable in those positions. Like, look at this. We had Brian McCann and Evan Gattis, two former teammates on the Atlanta Braves, help us to win a championship because they knew what their full potential. They help us, they learn each other preference, and they understand from working from it. And to this day, we're still stuck by those players who help us transform the game so that we enjoy. Give me a minute, guys. In those era, into the 2015, what if the Astros won the LDS against the Kansas City Royals? The Astros advanced the 2015 LCS against the Toronto Blue Jays. The Astros, who's taking on the Toronto Blue Jays, would have won that series in 6 games, and also would have met the Mets in the World Series. And then that year, we were good against National League teams. The Astros won the World Series. The first thing we were done is sign Colby Rasmus with a 4-year contract worth $35 to $40 million. And after that, we would possibly gotten a player like Jordan Simmerin, or like $100 million for them for 5 years. Now speaking to the present day, our record would have been 30 and 35 victories if we won it. There would be no Charlie Morton, no Osuna, and lastly, no MVP season for Altuve in 2017. Showing the team was so much different than today, we shall be lucky we didn't win it all. As an Astros fan, I'll be honest on this one. We didn't deserve to win it all in 2015, but 2017 was a test. The test of a championship. We had a goal-driven team, a good GM, and a good manager who knew all those players' potential was. As being a player on those teams, we learn from it. And while being a player, you learn how to play with them. You see what they do, you understand, and you show. And let's get to some questions. Sorry, guys. There's no questions, unfortunately. There's some things to learn as an Astros fan. Those fans learn a lot from us. We learn how to be a team from day one to now. While being a fan with this team, with this organization, everything shows we click. And with that clicking, the Astros fans know what to do. And with that saying, this is the Astros Tailgate. And have a good night.